The second item I'm concerned about is gaining much more attention. That is the attainable housing strategies. The council has held a series of listening sessions around the county, and I think they heard a lot of concern from residents all around the county. The Planning Board approved this plan that would rezone 82% of the single-family zones in the county. At its core, this is unnecessary. Unlike some places in the country and in nearby jurisdictions, we're not a city that's been fully built out, where their only choice is to rezone existing property. Our master plans have enough zone capacity to house more people than are projected to come here through 2050. Not everybody can say that. The region can accommodate the anticipated growth or capacity with some adjustments to zoning. Some adjustments to zoning. Our existing master plans address the growth needs of this county for the next 30 years and longer. This plan also does not address the affordable issue we have here. Though they've talked about affordability and people think the park and planning is talking about affordability, this is actually not true. People have different ideas of what we mean when we're talking about affordability. Some think it's about home ownership, some think we're only talking about renters and tenant issues. Unfortunately, this plan does not help with ownership or with renting. In fact, the Planning Board has acknowledged that this plan is not about affordability in its own report. Additionally, in a study from 3 years ago, the Planning Board regarding Silver Spring concluded that new townhouses on existing single-family lots would cost between $700,000 and $855,000. They're actually more than that now. The average income of Black and Hispanic residents in this county is about $75,000. Those homes are not affordable to our communities of color. They're not affordable to many people, particularly young people coming out of college and looking for their first place to live in Montgomery County. In fact, they are facing possible displacement with this proposal. More recently, a townhome in Bethesda was sold for $3.6 million. It was built on a lot that previously had one single-family home. Now it has 3 townhomes. While it does make the homes down the street that sell for $1.5 million to $2 million look less expensive, it does nothing to address affordability. That $2 million home is still out of reach for many people. And the home that was bought to yield these $3.6 million properties was sold to the developer for $1.6 million. You figure out what the profit is. Second, people need to have clear notice of the Attainable Housing Initiative. These large turnouts reflect only a small percentage of who is affected, and if it were to pass as currently proposed, these residents would not have any say in the process because development would be by right. Most people had no idea that the bulk of single-family communities in the county could be rezoned if the Planning Board's recommendations are wholly adopted. The council president has said there's no legislation scheduled for the council. However, this proposal has been sent to the council and it's with them now for review, and they added these meetings with the public before they actually take it up on the council, so it is actually in front of them. Third, the planning proposal is premature. It is based on theory, not on solid plans based on real-world assessments. This plan undoes most of the master plans. Through the master plan process, which affords an opportunity for residents to weigh in and for careful review of impacts on neighborhoods, the community, and the infrastructure. They didn't get that opportunity. Which brings me to my fourth point, adequate infrastructure and environmental consequences. There have been no studies on AHI's impact on the environment. What will happen to the trees? Will there be an increase in imperviousness or paved surfaces? And what will that mean for potential flooding? With climate change, our neighborhoods are already facing increased flooding and overflowing storm drains. Additionally, what will the impact be on the infrastructure? What about parking for all additional residents? And they do generally have cars. There is no study of transportation adequacy or schools and the environmental protections that are needed. This is tied to growth, infrastructure, and policy that I mentioned. We need the adequate infrastructure to accompany development, yet there is no evaluation of what we need and what it's going to cost. When the council passed the Planning Board created Thrive policy, the county government had to provide cost estimates as part of our review. Those estimates were in the billions of dollars, far beyond our normal spend. But alarmingly, the Planning Board chair and a council member dismissed the study by simply saying, "We don't believe it." No analysis, no study done by them, just "we don't believe it." And that was the end of the subject. So much for meaningful planning. Attainable housing is a massive undertaking of rezoning 82% of the single-family residential housing, affecting 164,000 current homes. Currently, there's no analysis of unintended consequences. We all agree that housing affordability is a major concern, both for people wanting to become homeowners and people who are renters. Unfortunately, this proposal does nothing to help them and threatens to damage our beautiful and diverse county. But I do want to take a moment to talk about some of what we're doing to address housing affordability, something the Planning Board apparently isn't interested in. Last week, we welcomed Maryland Secretary of Housing and Community Development, Jake Day, to Montgomery County. We showed him some of what we're doing here. We visited the newly opened Leggett in Silver Spring, a mixed-income development for seniors adjacent to our new aquatic center. We showed him the art space development a few blocks away that offers both ownership and rental units and was designed and developed in collaboration with the community. We also showed him the project on Randolph Road and Bushy Drive that the county is doing that will include opportunities for low-income ownership as well as rental, and new development in Bethesda with easy access to Metro with family-sized units, 3 bedrooms, which we rarely get, and available to a large range of incomes from 30 to 80% of the area median income. We also showed Secretary Day one of the newest projects, HOC's Hillendale Gateway in East County. This will be an all-electric, mixed-use and mixed-income development. And it was a complicated project that involved HOC, the Montgomery County Green Bank, and private investors. Because of this collaboration, 54% of the units will be affordable to families earning between 30 and 80% of the area median income. Those are not all the projects we're supporting. We closed 2 loans in the first quarter of FY25 with development partners that will produce 334 affordable apartments, Amber Commons in Gaithersburg, and the Montori site in North Bethesda. For the remainder of FY25, we anticipate closing loans for several other developments in our pipeline, and that will produce an additional 1,424 affordable units for a total of 1,758 affordable units for the year. For context, in FY24, we closed 17 projects that produced or preserved 1,133 affordable units. In FY23, we closed 13 projects that produced or preserved 975 affordable units. There's a lot more that I could say about these topics, but I'm going to pause on this for now and just reiterate my 2 main points. I hope the Council will agree to the do no harm policy so that revenues are not reduced by adopting a growth and infrastructure policy that would cause that. And I also focus on the real issues surrounding housing in the county.